Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Handegriff.
For some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Snow Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at 74 in Gonzales. Welcome to the Thursday edition, Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Handegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro with us today. Jordan Kitchen's back in the studio. Colucci from Vegas. Matt Humans is back off of vacation from Vegas. Got Olympic hockey during the middle of the show today. The women's gold medal game going at noon today. Got golf going on out in California at the Genesis. So a lot to get to. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
Maybe the best college basketball night of the season last night, certainly in the SEC, was very entertaining if you were watching. Pretty much take your pick of any of the games. Alabama and Arkansas, the word you used yesterday, entertaining. This is going to be fun to watch. It was through both overtimes and some individual milestones that we're going to talk about. Texas A&M rallied from double digits down at home to avoid what would have been a Q3 loss against Ole Miss. Missouri kind of withstood a big flurry from Vanderbilt. Three-pointer in the air to tie the game after they had been down 20, I think it was 21 was the biggest deficit for Vandy. And then Mississippi State put on a big flurry in the last 4 minutes of the game to beat Auburn. And Auburn kind of slumping right now. That's 5 in a row for the Tigers that they take it on the chin. Their NETs is still in decent shape, but their conference record is now 3 below 500. So there's a lot to get to because this was entertaining. But Jimmy, in Tuscaloosa last night, we saw one of the great individual two of the great individual performances last night. The other one being in Mississippi State with Josh Hubbard. But we said for most of the season that Darius Acuff, best player in the league. Last night, the guy played 50 minutes and scored 49 points. And Arkansas had a 10-point lead at the half. Alabama reeled them in. They went back and forth in both of the overtimes. Tide got a terrific game out of LeBron Philon. He ended up with 35 points. Aiden Sherrell ended up with 26. This was fun to watch, man. And I came out of it feeling like, and I've seen both of these teams a number of times, neither one of them's perfect. They both got flaws. But with the right draw and with just a break or two, either one of them could find themselves as a factor in the second weekend of the NCAA tournament. It's no guarantee, but at their absolute best, they're pretty doggone good.
I think Arkansas is more of a threat to make a run in the tournament than Alabama. Alabama at home had to shoot 56% from the floor for a 50-minute game. That's not sustainable. They give up way too many easy buckets, and Arkansas just got. I think they got a better team, a better roster. Could have easily won it on the road here. You got to hold serve on home. Entertaining. Well, Alabama's your team. I mean, they when have they not been get up and down? But they give up a lot of easy point. The biggest thing was Acuff Jr. He had guys like Holloway, on him, or Philon. And Philon is a scorer. I mean, I love him. There's no doubt. Just don't think he's quite Acuff Jr. But you had a guy like Malik Thomas, guarding Philon. I mean, he's 6'5" and athletic. I mean, it's just so. It's, with Malik Thomas, Billy Richmond is a good college basketball player. Brazil is a rim defender and a presence down there. He's a Pringle is not bad. I mean, they've got some players, man. DJ Wagner. I mean, that's not a terrible guy to come off your bench, huh? I mean, this is I just think that Arkansas, their ceiling is higher than Alabama's. Phylon, Holloway, they do all they can, but they give up so much. Charlie, a 50-point. They're scrolling on the scoreboard after, and they show field goal percentage for game 56 something. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You can't expect and have to hang on by dear life in double overtime at home.
Right.
No, man.
And especially when Arkansas had two guys foul out. You're playing with two kids at the end in the double overtime.
And Acuff's got to go 50?
Yeah, and he's got to go for 50. Yeah. Now, here's so I agree with about 90% of what you said. Here's the only pushback I would have is, they shot 56% from the floor, but they only shot 34% from three. They're capable of doing a little bit better than that on a certain day, and that's why. And I agree with you that Arkansas, I think, has more long-term potential here. And this is a home game; they had to hold them off. But on the right day, they could shoot better than 34% from three. And if they ever get into that kind of groove, they could provide a problem for a better team in the NCAA tournament. They've got holes. I won't argue that at all. And I think Arkansas, Acuff, we know he's a lottery pick. Man, that's the kind of guy that you can ride him for 2 weekends in the NCAA tournament, maybe, if he's right, possibly. Now, I don't know if they've got enough depth. You got a 7-man rotation, and that ended up catching up with you at the end of the game last night. So they're both flawed, but they're both interesting,
Oh, I think I'll maintain with my stance that I think that Arkansas is more dangerous.
And I agree with you.
Now listen. Nobody's won. Only coaches have won as many as Oates has won in a tournament the last 2 years. So he's doing something right, but I just don't think they're quite. Now the big guy down low, Sharif. I think that's his name. I don't have the box score. He shot like 10 of 13 from the floor last night for Alabama. If he
Sherrell. Yeah.
If he continues to improve, then that's going to open up their, it's open up for cleaner looks from behind the arc. Yes, they can certainly shoot better than 34%, which is not bad, which equates to 51% from two.
They shoot 36% as a team for the year, so right. A little bit better. It's not a big difference.
They could get hot, but let me know how many games they shot 56% from the floor
probably
for
not
a game,
very many.
for a 50-minute game.
Yeah.
Darius Acuff Jr. from Detroit, 6'3" guard, kind of scores at all areas of the court. Mind you of another one-and-done guy from a major market in the Midwest that played for John Calipari.
John Wall?
Derrick Rose was from Chicago.
Okay.
6'3". The only problem is Acuff has more assists per game, less turnovers a game, more points per game, better shooting percentage, better shooting percentage from three. He is better in every category than Derrick Rose was in that 1 year for Calipari at Memphis.
And he rode Derrick Rose all the way to finals.
Oh no, they blew it. They were the best team.
Yeah.
They were. That was the Final Four when all four number ones went, and they embarrassed a really good UCLA team with Kevin Love and one of the star guards. Was it Holloway?
Was it Westbrook?
I think it was Westbrook. It was Westbrook.
Yeah.
Westbrook, Kevin Love, some others. This
Maybe
guy,
Mario Chalmers.
This guy,
Chalmers.
Well, you didn't foul him.
I know.
They missed some free throws.
But Rose was great, and he was an MVP in the NBA.
They were the best team.
He was an MVP in the NBA before he tore up his knee. Would have had a long career, I think, as a perennial All-Star.
This guy, stylistically, background, size. I like, Rose scored everywhere on the court. This guy scores everywhere on the court. He's a better shooter than he's everything. John, when you have more assists and more so he loves setting up his teammates on alley-oops as well. His assist, he's just really, really, really fun to watch. He shoots 44% from three.
Yeah, that's great.
Alabama's one of the better shooting. What do they shoot for a team? 36.
36.
This guy shoots 44.
Yeah.
And what's going to improve as you get, as guys get older? Your shot.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really, really good. How is he not in the conversation? Because he's not quite as big as DeBonsa and Peterson?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you're asking.
Derrick Rose, 6'3".
No.
MVP, right?
Yep. He was.
You watch this guy last night.
He's not very far behind them, okay, in your draft ratings.
Okay, well,
I'll tell you this. If I'm an NBA general manager, I'll take him before Darryn Peterson, and I know he's not as talented. But guess what? 50 minutes last night? He was on the floor.
No cramps?
Peterson checked out about 3 minutes in the second half, said, I'm done for the night, Bill. Hey, sorry, I've had enough. I've played enough tonight. This cat on the road, 50 minutes last night. And I know he's not as physically gifted as Peterson. I get it. But give me this kid. Give me this kid.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. I mean, what's the chance of Peterson playing 50 minutes?
How many games? 3?
0.
Over 3 games, he might
0.
get to 50 minutes.
I mean, and it's this kid is really, really, really good, and it didn't take. And look, Alabama's they're bad defensive team. They're weak defensive team, and it just digs themselves too much of a hole. And so I just hey, for Oates to do to try to pull off what he did with Bediako, he knows his roster is
sure. They've got holes. They'd have to get a little bit streaky
now,
to get going.
Does it light a fire under this guy, under the big guy? To kind of under Sherelle,
maybe
to kind of wait, man. I mean, okay, now, well, you're bringing this guy in for a reason. He's asking him to do the same thing Sherelle's doing, and Sherelle, I just think he doesn't have the upper body strength. He's not as long as far as a rim defender. But damn, 10 of 13 from the floor and 13 rebounds. Yeah,
I thought we were going to triple. The follow dunk, man, so close.
Well, it's
so
made,
close.
and Acuff's shot is made, the majority of the time.
The first overtime, he got a decent look. Okay,
a great a great look.
And that's him making a move. They get him the ball in the inbounds and didn't go down.
And look, Filon's a guy that can score all the way, and I've been telling you about him as well. He's fun to watch because he can score on any area of the court. Now, he at least got to sit down for 9 minutes. He played 41 of the 50 minutes last night. But I just thought that Arkansas's length, his shots were tougher than Acuff's. That's the only thing, if you want. But Acuff is he not only scores, but he also – he creates for his teammates too. Yeah. He really does. He's a hell of a combo guard, Charlie.
Great college basketball game in Tuscaloosa last night, but it wasn't the only one. We got others to get to.
So was this the Joe Glass Chris Jackson game?
If Josh,
he had 2 great scorers going,
Okay, so what I thought about that game last night because I thought, man, if Acuff and Arkansas had been playing Mississippi State and Josh Hubbard, who had 35 in the first half last night, then maybe so. Filon was great.
Hubbard had 35.
Hubbard had 35 in the first half. In the first half.
Oh, Hubbard?
Josh Hubbard had 35 in the first half.
Auburn's got that big, hanging on to that big win, one of the top 5 wins in college basketball, arguably the best, going down to Gainesville.
Florida,
and not just beating them, but beating them by 9. It didn't come down to the last minute, so it's arguably the best win in college basketball. But they're still doing their best to try and play themselves onto the bubble.
By the way,
and Henry talked about this on Lundy Girl, Charlie. Bruce Pearl to Stephen Pearl. Well, when you're the best, and I tried to explain to him, when you're the best coach in the history of the program, you kind of earn that right. But this thing might be short-lived.
Yeah, and the thing with Florida last night is with Arkansas's loss, they pretty much clinched the SEC regular season title, if that means anything to you, on the resume. Yeah, that's still a great win. Now they're probably going to win the conference, but we figured that anyway.
No, it's Arkansas, Florida and everybody else. But you do have some of these teams like Arkansas, Kentucky's, that second tier of about 3 or 4 teams that are trying to – Alabama's one of them. I just not it's just they make it so hard on themselves with their weak defense.
Tennessee and Vandy, I would put in that category.
Vandy, they weren't competitive last night.
No, they had to put a big rush on to get close, and now they had a 3 in the air with 20 seconds to tie.
Oh, they did? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Because I turned it off because this game was obviously
the guy that took the shot. And I missed this. His name is Chandler Bing. His parents must have had a heck of a sense of humor. He had the 3 in the air with 20 seconds to go. Didn't make it. They end up winning the game. They hit a 3 at the horn, but they were down 4, so it wasn't relevant.
We're on a patio over here at Snow's Seafood and Steak on Airline Highway at Highway 74. It's these mild mid-February conditions, man, allow us to do it because they also have in the banquet rooms, they're full today over here, and it's, Ash Wednesday yesterday and the first Friday in Lent tomorrow. When you think about seafood restaurants, you think about Snow's Seafood and Steak. Had a lot of to-go orders. Great thing about there is you pull up. You don't have to get out of your vehicle if you get to-go orders over here from Snow's. Get those family packs that are very, very popular in our to-go stuff. And also, with all the seafood items that we have over here, whether you can do, the fried platters or the plates and things like that, the po' boys, or you can do the ideal menu and some of our grilled items. So we got fresh fish all over the place. The Oysters Casino and Shrimp Casino. I mean, seafood prepared every different way. And we now have crawfish, boiled crawfish or boiling crawfish, Tuesday through Saturday, starting at 5 p.m., and then on Sundays all day. So boiled crawfish available for the Lenten season over here at Snow's as well.
Live at Snow's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Remember, the show's available on demand, 1045ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. Hannycast up on YouTube right now. Review of the first week in LSU baseball. We're going to talk a little bit about their game against Nichols a little later in today's show. Brought to you by Supreme Rice, supporting our Louisiana farmers for 90 years, celebrating their 90th year in business here in 2026. For more information, go to supremerice.com. The game in Tuscaloosa wasn't the only game that had some unbelievable individual performances last night in Starkville. And it hasn't been a great year for Mississippi State. But Auburn came in having lost 4 in a row and in bad need of a win. Their net is still hanging in there. Even with the loss last night, they're still in the mid-30s at 34, but the loss is starting to pile up a little bit on them. And something that LSU fans, if you're watching the basketball, are accustomed to seeing is Josh Hubbard just going off. And the junior guard had himself a night. Jimmy, 46 points would steal a show on any other night that Acuff didn't do what he did. This cat had 35 points in the first half. Mississippi State went to the break up 16, and Auburn not only reeled them in, but they took a 7-point lead to the under 4 timeout. And I thought Mississippi State was cooked, and that was one of our picks yesterday. Randy McKay gave us Mississippi State.
Right.
Plus a 5.5, and I thought, man, we might be in a little bit of trouble here. Auburn only got one more basket the rest of the way, and Mississippi State went on a flurry in the last 4 minutes.
They were down almost 20, and then took like a 7-point lead, 9-point lead.
It was 90 to 73 at the under 4 timeout. And State went on a run. Like I said, Auburn only got one more basket the rest of the way. They got a couple of free throws too, and Hubbard. He didn't play all 40 minutes. He only played 39. Some people from Kansas could take note of that. And he hit 10 of 16 from three-point range. And it was something to watch.
We talk about Peterson a lot. There ain't a whole lot of guys like Peterson in college basketball right now. I was listening to Rick Neuheisler earlier today. He stole one of my lines, and that is, just watch the games, man. It's fine, minus Peterson. These guys are getting after it.
Absolutely.
They're getting after it. And, the arenas, that's right, basketball arenas can be lively, can be happening. I mean, the places were pretty lively.
Vandy was down 21 on the road
Yeah,
last
gave
night
up on it.
and stormed back. They hit a 3 in the air to tie it with 20 seconds to go. A&M was down 13. Boy, you want to talk about a damage and loss. Their net is in the 40s. And if they had lost that would have been a Q3 loss to Ole Miss, who's just reeling. I don't know quite what's happened there, but it seems like kind of the bottom's falling out.
Speaking of Josh Hubbard, though, he's no surprise to scoring. Okay, his freshman year he averaged over 17 points a game. His sophomore year he averaged 19. This year he's averaging now with the big night over 22 points a game. From Madison, the Jackson area in Mississippi, he is the state of Mississippi's all-time leading scorer. And you just thought that, sometimes in his shooting percentage has not been terrific this year. It's at 43%. So, he doesn't have a ton of help this year. So he at 6 feet, and that's what he's listed. He's probably below that. He's getting a lot of defensive attention.
They got one other double-digit score, and that's it.
Yeah,
so he is shouldering. Yeah, that's why they are 3 games below 500.
But he elevates so much for a little guy on his jump shot, man. And we've seen these games over the 3 years in Starkville, his career. They had a great one a year or 2 ago, 2 years ago against Kentucky. It was just a great game. They lost at the end, but that's why Mississippi State's been a little bit of a surprise this year, disappointment, and that Gans has gotten the Bulldogs to the tournament, the NCAA tournament, the last 2 years. Not going to happen this year.
Tennessee, we thought Oklahoma might be coming around after 2 straight wins. Tennessee dusted them last night. I like that pick too. Oklahoma
7-point game with 5 minutes to go, and then Tennessee goes on a 9-0 run. That was it. So it was. They're kind of hanging around, but no, just they kind of went on that run.
They're right there on the cusp of a protected seed if they can finish strong, and they do get a game against South Carolina before the end of the season, so you figure that's at least one more. They play Vanderbilt twice in the last 5 games. Those games will go a long way towards shaping. They're basically right on top of each other, 15 and 19 in the net. One of them is probably going to get a protected seed. The other one's not. If I just had to
put
guess.
Vanderbilt in the same breath as Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee.
Here's my problem with Vanderbilt. Here lately, they haven't looked the part. Early, the first.
Well, they won 4 out of 5 before last night.
They had won 4 out of 5, but the loss to Oklahoma kind of shook me a little bit because that's not a game. That's a bad loss. Okay, it's a home loss to a team that
Oklahoma's been close to a lot of people.
They finally got one. Unfortunately, they got to that one. I think Vandy's good. I think I look at them as kind of a 4-5 seed. That's where I think that they end up.
I think Arkansas is the best of that group. Then I would put Tennessee.
And they're all right on top of each other in the net.
Yeah, but I that's what I'm saying. I understand they're clumped together with the metrics and the standings and all that, and they might even be with their seeding. But I just think Arkansas is a clear. They just have more talent than the others. They can play both sides of the floor.
They got the best player out of it. Ahmet from Tennessee is really good too, but I think Acuff is the best player.
Ahmet's really good, but he's not Acuff.
Right. I think Acuff is the best player, and I don't know how you feel about Calipari. He's still the best coach. He's certainly got the most tournament experience out of anybody except Tennessee. So you're not talking about a guy. This is his first rodeo. So if you got the best player and you got a coach who's done this an awful lot, yeah, you're dangerous. You're really dangerous.
Nobody's won as many games in the league as Alabama has. The last 2 years, in the tournament. So, and I just don't. But I'm reluctant to put Vanderbilt up with that group. Kentucky up with that group. I'm a little bit reluctant. Tennessee,
I'm very reluctant.
I do like how Ahmet, and I love his character too. You listen to him; he's getting better and better. He's a little bit underdeveloped physically, and he's getting more and more physical. Now he is going to have to, just put on a little bit of strength, and that'll come. I mean, he's a true freshman, in college, but man, he's a talent. He is long and got skills, but just kind of just starting to figure out how bad of a dude he is. Kind of, I mean, he took one, kind of a give and go last night. Man, he took off from like 12 feet. Man, he threw it down. We're starting to see some of those signs of him kind of realizing just how tough he is. But that A cuff is he's ready to go. I mean, that guy, man. Jeez,
he's great. A couple other notes from last night. Creighton, the emotional game at UConn. Josh Dix, who just recently lost his mother to cancer. UConn did a really nice thing last night with the moment of silence and all that stuff. And they also were retiring Emeka Okafor's jersey last night. And Creighton went in there and beat them. This is not one of McDermott's better teams, but they went in and beat UConn in stores last night by 7, And Arizona, we had BYU last night, or I had BYU last night. I was worried a little bit when that game got to 16 and Arizona might run away and hide. BYU hung tough and pulled in and covered late. So nice job for them. DeBoncha did what he could. He had 35 last night, but they're not as good as Arizona.
It's the first full game without their starter Saunders, who's out for the year with the torn ACL. You see how that happens? Is BYU going to shut it down? Does the coach get a year, a pass because he had an injury?
No.
They're still going to tournaments. Is Texas Tech, are they shutting it down?
No, we're topping out for the year. Yeah. Tough injury, man. Tough injury.
We'll take a timeout. But anyway, BYU, Portland State beating Gonzaga. That's the only game, only upset I think is bigger than Creighton going to stores and beating UConn.
What was that line last night? 12?
15. 14 and a half, 15.
Yeah.
I mean, look, NC State lost to Georgia Tech, a 14.5-point favorite. There's been some other that I think Florida was favored by about 14.5 over Auburn. But this is not they're not close to the tournament, this Creighton team.
No, and Dix, who's dealing with this emotional fallout, has been playing through this, had 21 last night.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, which you get with our long-standing team. Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Marion Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060.
30 minutes to Olympic hockey. We'll see what Colucci knows about Olympic hockey when we come back. Live at Snow's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Colucci, how you doing, my brother?
What's going on, Jimmy Ott? How you guys doing? Surviving Mardi Gras with Shia LaBeouf?
And we ain't fighting around here.
We're
too old for that foolishness.
We're lovers, not fighters.
Yeah, no fights over here. We know how to have a good time.
So who is this actor, huh? What happened to him?
He got in a fight.
Okay.
He got overserved and thrown out of the bar and wanted to fight about it.
I think he lives in New Orleans now.
Has this ever happened at Mardi Gras before? Somebody got overserved, thrown out of the bar, and wanted to fight.
You think?
Yeah.
Charlie, if we can get a line on that.
Put up with that riffraff for a week. You guys put up with that riffraff for like a week or so. We do that every day.
You can choose to put up with it if you like. Yes.
Right.
I grew up with it. Thought it was the greatest thing in the world. I am the first one that is the farthest away from it every year.
I like that rule when they set up that little jail down in the French Quarter, and if they put you in it for basically being a jerk, you had to stay there till Wednesday. No judge, nobody. Yeah. That was a good rule. Okay, if you get drunk and disorderly on Saturday, guess what? You're gonna be there till Wednesday. Okay, the party will be over by the time you get out. That was a good rule, I thought.
Yes, definitely. Totally agree.
I stay away. You can have it. You can have it.
I'm over here sitting next to you.
The quarterfinals yesterday were unbelievable. I mean, Canada was on the ropes. They got a late goal and I'm curious what you thought about that goal. Kind of a dribbling little goal that went between the goalie's legs for Czechoslovakia. but 3 of the 4, and then the U.S. is trying to hold on against Sweden, and Randy McKay hit that when he gave us Sweden plus 1.5 yesterday, and so then they give up a goal very late. But then they win the 3-on-3.
McKay. I told you guys last week Sweden was one of the top teams. You're worried about Randy McKay giving games yesterday. I gave you that a week and a half ago, guys. Come on. Now, don't slight the hockey picks. I told you guys Sweden was definitely one of the top teams. Jake Markstrom played out of his mind. And, credit to both U.S. and Canada. With all the pressure on these guys, they still managed to get the job done. I mean, between Nick Suzuki and Mitch Marner, fabulous play. And Quinn Hughes is just a fabulous talent. I'm still scratching my head how the Vancouver Canucks got rid of this guy. It's just, and to put him on a good roster like the Minnesota Wild, he's a phenomenal young talent. And, right now we have Canada as big favorites at the resort at Summerlin and Caesars, and we have the United States as big favorites. I mean, both 2.5-goal spreads going against Finland and Slovakia, respectively, guys. So I thought Sweden might actually won the game yesterday, to be honest with you. I was counting them. I told you their roster was stacked with NHL players. Mika Zibanejad played very well, but they weren't able to get over that hump. So, credit to the 4 teams that are remaining. But like you said, Jimmy, that was some fabulous hockey. And, just end-to-end action. And that's what it brings when you have basically NHL All-Star teams. And keep in mind, Russia ain't even playing, and they had a monstrous squad if they presented that and were able to play in this Olympic Games, in Italy. So, hockey is definitely a great action sport when you break it down from an All-Star perspective and the Nations 4 and the NHL playoffs. They really have a nice product, guys, and I'm surprised that the handle doesn't really increase more and more each year. But there are some, unmarketable areas of the United States that prevent this from going forward.
Yeah, the canals didn't freeze over the bayous didn't freeze over when we grew up on skates, down in Louisiana. So there's other places like that. But the other thing is, I hear a lot, it's everything is such made for TV, and that the sport is not, TV doesn't do it as much justice as maybe some other sports. You subscribe to that theory?
Yeah, definitely, Jimmy. I mean, there's so much action in the NFL happening on the sidelines. You have sideline reporters. You have, overhead camera views now with drones that just make it super exciting. And, you have a lot of superstar charisma, star power. Definitely the wives and girlfriends of these guys in the NFL and Major League Baseball as well as the NBA are well documented. But the NHL, yeah, it does fly under that scope a bit. And I think it's because a lot of people just, associated and affiliated basically with Canada and not just the United States, whereas a Canadian team hasn't won the Cup since, the Canadians back in 93, 94. So, you're going back years and years and years of, Canada's absence from holding and hoisting the Stanley Cup. So the television, yeah, it becomes etchy, but, you see a lot of these sports are suffering from a television perspective. The NBA viewership the last few years has been down. They try and market the WNBA, but there's nobody watching those games unless Caitlin or Angel are playing. And, it's just, it's in that, hovering mode as opposed to the NFL that, they're just selling to Netflix, selling to Amazon Prime. Their product is in huge demand, whereas hockey is not. That's a great point you bring up, Jimmy.
So for the gold medal, Canada and at Caesars outlets where you are, minus 135, the United States plus 115, so that's tightened up some. But both teams are laying 2.5 goals tomorrow in the semifinals. Wake-up call? Who do you like in those 2 games?
I tell you, everybody wants to see that Canada-United States matchup, so I'm really hoping that both teams make it. Slovakia is at 30-1, so they're an outside chance to beat the U.S., but it's going to be very difficult, especially when these teams tighten up and the firepower that both of these teams have. Now, keep in mind, Sidney Crosby is not going to be playing, so that hurts Canada, but, they have a more than adequate lineup to overcome that loss. And, they've just been playing fabulous. And the young kids have really been taking it and hoisting it on their shoulders, the McDavids, the Suzukis, the Mitch Marners, like I said. And on the USA side, you have those monsters, Kachuk brothers, Jack Eichel. That line is just phenomenal. So, the goalie rotations as well. Connor Hellebuck is in between the pipes. You have Jordan Binnington. So many guys that just step up when it becomes Olympic time and gold medal time. So I'm hoping to see that Canada-United States matchup. Definitely a rivalry, where we've been allies, but because of the current political state, this is going to be a huge, huge matchup. So let's keep an eye on it.
So would you lay the goals tomorrow or take them, or just a pass?
I'll tell you the truth. I might take the 2.5 with Slovakia, just on an outside, because you're getting a little plus two. At the resort at Summerlin and Caesars, you're getting plus 2.5 and plus 115. So that's a pretty sharp line. Finland, you're getting 2.5 and you're laying 135. So definitely they're going to come to play. You know that. So, just to protect yourself, I'd love to see these two favorites win. But getting 2.5 goals at this level and the Final Four, I'll take it all day on both the underdogs, just because of the pressure that is on the United States and the Canada teams.
Anything on the women's game, which is the gold medal match, U.S. and Canada, that's gone in 15 minutes.
Yeah, the U.S. really looks good. I think they're the better team, and I would have to favor States women in this matchup. I think they've just played so far superior to the level of competition, immense, shutout streak, and just playing at a high level. So I'll take the United States.
Did they get any? It's been dead for so long, so it is getting a lot of reviews, positive reviews with the new format, and the close games. Also, short attention spans with the 12-minute games. The NBA All-Star game. Did anybody bet it at the Rampart last week?
I mean, yeah, we had some action. The spectators that were in a fabulous book definitely were interested. And, Kawhi and Edwards, they definitely put on a show. So it was good. I mean, it was very entertaining and close. The format was nice. The only thing on Saturday, that was questionable how, Damian Lillard, I could shoot 3-pointers, but I can't play in the NBA regular season. I mean, these guys crack me up at times, some of these NBA players. You try and dissect it and you look at it from all angles. I mean, the guy's whole game basically is shooting 3-pointers. I mean, he's not the greatest sharing the ball point guard like Isaiah Thomas or Tiny Archibald, but the guy could shoot the lights out, and he proved that. So, sometimes I question the health on these players, just like Kyrie isn't coming back this year. How many years could you sit out? And, Kawhi Leonard is the perfect example. Anytime this guy had a little ache or a pain, he was sitting out. So, this is why he looks so healthy and in monster strength, because, he picked his opportunities, went to play, went to suck up his titles with San Antonio and Toronto, and he sat a lot of years. This is why a lot of people scrutinize LeBron James, but this man has been on the court throughout his career. I mean, name a time he was injured. Very similar to Michael Jordan, and the longevity just shows you what a physical specimen he is. And, maybe he just loves the limelight, but he has a desire to win, so that's why he's on the court, whereas guys like Kawhi, they tuck it up. They get, I think, somewhat enamored with themselves and just put the game secondary.
Did they hover around and catch attention onto that Alabama-Arkansas game last night, the double overtime game?
I wasn't in the book last night, but there was some exciting games. A lot of upsets last night. Let me tell you that, guys. I mean, you look at it, from St. John's having trouble. A lot of underdogs covered. Seton Hall looked terrible. I mean, there were a lot of games that just were total upsets. And, BYU played solid. You saw the night before, topping down for Texas Tech after their big win. So there's a lot of upsets in the college basketball landscape this year. UConn went down last night. So it's kind of hard to figure out this landscape right now with the college basketball, sorting out all the injuries and conference tournament play. There's going to be massive handles. So I'm really anticipating it.
All right, Dwayne, anything else? I was curious, did they start to play in-game a little bit with Scheffler's come back last week at Pebble Beach?
Yeah, definitely. There was a lot of golf action, and golf has been very exciting. I'll be honest with you. It's definitely a different winner, it seems like, every week. You saw Matsuyama got nailed a couple of weeks back. As Scotty started to get hot, you start to get the in-stroke play wager.
All right, follow Dwayne on Twitter at NYBookieDwayne. Good stuff, Kaluch. When do we start the NHL back up?
I think it's like a week and a half. So I don't have the exact date in front of me. I had it written down, but we'll have tons of picks, guys. We're going to win a ton of money in the second half of this NHL
That's
season.
what I
You
like.
know that. Baton Rouge needs to get rich, guys. We need to crush these sports books. That's what it comes down to. Don't let my bosses hear that, though. But it looks like Wednesday, February 25th.
There you go.
That looks like opening night.
You're the best, Kaluch. We appreciate it. We will talk to you next week. Thank you, buddy.
Love you guys. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Charlie. Have a great day.
Yes,
Clutch.
indeed. Don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC and heating repairs companies in all of South Louisiana. So starting to warm up, starting to use that AC. So kind of running out of time right now. Now is the time. If your unit is over 10 years old, if it was serviced last summer, call us out to do a free evaluation of your system, find out and come up with the exact recommendations and the options you have. Total Maintenance right now is offering up to $5,500 off select systems, as well as steep discounts on the duct work you have to put off. You're putting off replacing for quite some time. And don't forget, mention my name, Jimmy Ott, receive $10 off any membership program that you purchase through Total Maintenance. That's good for all the services we provide. And be sure to ask about our AC and Heating Elite membership that comes with a system monitoring solution to inform both the owner and us at Total Maintenance of a problem the second it happens. The Elite membership also credits half the monthly investment into a savings account that can be redeemed at the time of replacement of your system. You cannot lose with the Elite program from Total Maintenance. 480-1000, 480-1000, Total Maintenance.
Live at Snows, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Matt, you must be with us in the second hour. Get some picks for the college basketball weekend. We're here at Snow's Seafood and Steak on Airline Highway at 74 in Gonzales. You hear Colucci dropped a tiny Archibald reference when he was talking about point guards. One of my favorite stats of all time. 2 players led the league in scoring and assists in the same year. Tiny Archibald was one of them. At 6 feet tall, led the league.
Listed.
Listed. The nickname was appropriate. Okay, led the league in scoring and assists in the same season. Only 2 players did that. Him and the Big O. That's it. The entire history of the NBA. All those
That's when
players
Oscar Robertson averaged a triple-double.
Yeah. He averaged 29.
Tiny Archibald was with the Kings or with the Rockets?
The Kansas City Kings.
Yeah.
Kansas City Kings. They were actually, I think they were the Kansas City Omaha Kings the year he did it. They called them.
Yeah, they did that for
for a year or so. Anyway, little history there. Hour number 2 coming straight ahead here at Snow Seafood and Steak. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we're enjoying the good weather out here on the patio at Snow's Seafood and Steak. I always love when we come out here to Gonzales and the weather cooperates. We're out here on the patio, Jimmy.
Yeah, man, the patio weather over here, so really nice. So we got a little climate control. We can raise or lower the blinds for you. We got the fans, we got heaters, we got cooling system over here. So, when it's it's close, we'll make it even that much better for you. Just ask your server to try and put it to your liking over here at Snow's. We talked about yesterday the start of Lent. 40 days of Lent, Ash Wednesday, tomorrow, the first Friday in Lent. And so, big Catholic South Louisiana sacrifice Gotta eat seafood. Eat fresh seafood. So you got plenty of seafood menu items over here. Fried, grilled, blackened, you name it over here at Snow's. And so seafood, gumbo. The Oysters Casino, house favorite, the Oysters Casino and Shrimp Casino is outstanding over here. And so all of it. And we're doing some boiled crawfish. So closed on Mondays, but Tuesday through Saturday, starting at 5 p.m. and then all day Sunday. So you come over here, just, go to church, come over here and get all messy with some boiled crawfish after. So, let's put a bib on.
Get your bib.
Get your bib. Get your bib, sewer rat. There you go.
Yesterday, LSU had an afternoon game against Nichols. In the midweek games, I'll go through them all with a fine-tooth comb, but I wanted to mention one thing from yesterday. LSU won the game 12-1. They got a grand slam out of Trent Carraway in the first. It was 5-1. It was 6-1 after the second. And Nichols really didn't threaten the rest of the way. But what got my attention the most was the debut that I've been kind of waiting for here through the first weekend of Reagan Ricken. Really high on this guy. We talked about him in the preseason preview. Don't like to get too caught up on measurables all the time in baseball because, look, little guys are big guys, and LSU's got plenty of both, can hit and pitch, and, all shapes and sizes in this sport. But when you do have the measurables and you look at a guy that's 6'5" and 220 pounds and has spent the last year, he talked about it after the game, adding about 30 pounds of muscle, and then he comes in there throwing 95 miles an hour with a really nice changeup and a slider that is good and figures to get better because it's got a little bit of a loop to it. But I think that's gonna get better. It gets my attention. He threw 3 nearly perfect innings. The only blemish was he hit a batter, but other than that, he was perfect. This is one of those guys that you look at and you say, okay, they're going to work him in as a freshman, and you could see him hopefully ramping up. Jay Johnson said it after the game. He says, look, this is a guy that, at some point in his career, maybe our Friday night guy. So his debut was pretty good yesterday, and I like the pedigree. Dad was a college baseball player at Michigan. He played 9 years in the minor leagues in the Yankees organization. His mom was a college volleyball player at Michigan. So, athletic household. Like all of those things, Jimmy. Thought I'd mention that from yesterday's game. Reagan Ricken, keep your eye on this young man. That's pretty good.
And that's one thing that I don't subscribe to how much put too much emphasis on when you just completely overmatch an opponent
and
things
like
that.
Absolutely.
But we can see a pitcher, we can see individual where, okay, what's his velocity, what's his, how's his ball moving, what kind of command is he hitting his spots, is he, just a final box score, not so much, but, all those measurables. We know he's 6'5", hey, man, it's good to be, have an LSU baseball budget where you can go pluck, a 6'5" hard thrower from the state of California. So
26 strikes in 38 pitches to get through 3 innings too. He talked about letting his defense work behind him. He had 2 strikeouts, but he was dealing yesterday. Yeah, Nichols is outmatched here. I get that, but he's one to watch. I think moving forward. You're one of those families of a family of athletes. We talked about this with Drake May, right? Dad's an athlete, mom's an athlete, his brothers and sisters, his brothers are athletes in different sports. I don't think that hurts you any. I think you grow up in a competitive atmosphere with players that understand.
How many siblings?
He's got 2.
Where is he?
He's the oldest.
He's the oldest.
I think.
You always beat up on the baby, Charlie.
Oh, yeah?
The baby's always toughest.
And Drake May was the baby, right? Is he the youngest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They beat up on the baby, and so they usually grows up a little bit quicker, grows up tougher, and they and also he sees his big brothers. He's trying to keep up, so he's he picks up the basketball. Mimic your older siblings. So. No, I was just wondering. That's kind of usually the case.
There's great players whose dads were architects and moms were, grade school teachers. But it helps, I think.
Absolutely, because what are you doing when you're playing, but you're also watching, and so you're just going to have, instincts. Sometimes your name can get you, kind of get you undeserved opportunities. Lane Kiffin got some undeserved opportunities when he was a young coach.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
I think he's admitted to that.
I mean, so be it. Whatever.
Sure.
So, but it also can create where you see the best of Lane Kiffin, where you're in an environment that it becomes instinctful, and things that are common, just common knowledge. And so that's why some coaches' sons get more coaching opportunities or get more opportunities to do it. And so, I mean, like whether a player, and sometimes when your dad averages 32 points a game in high school and leads the city of New Orleans, you don't listen to him at all to learn how to shoot. And so you got great handles and you got a little quickness and you can hop a little bit, but you can't shoot. So sometimes that happens when you're hard-headed like me. So one of my dad's players say, "Your dad didn't teach you how to shoot, man?"
I didn't listen. LSU.
You and Ben Simmons, Jimmy.
Oh gosh, to bring that up.
That was close to my Ilya. I thought Ben Simmons. You're going to improve as a shooter because you're going to go shoot. I mean, you go in the gym. You can learn how. You can improve your shooting by yourself. You don't need. you need a goal and a ball. And so I just saw him at 7 feet handling the ball like he did. I said, this guy might be the best player I've ever seen.
He's one of the most baffling players.
It's unbelievable.
And not just what happened once he got to the NBA, but when he came in, I think we talked about this week. I knew how high you were on him. I said, I can't understand somebody who has clearly spent all this time in the gym, I'm talking about pre-LSU, that does not – when you go to the gym, you're a basketball player, you shoot. All the other stuff is the harder stuff to come by, the passing, the defense, the instincts, all that stuff is harder to learn. You usually got to learn that in a full gym. In an empty gym, what do? You shoot.
6'11",
except he didn't.
6'11", your handles are a skill.
Yeah.
Your shooting is a skill. And usually they kind of work hand in hand. And usually, but we've seen, 6 feet guards, even Magic Johnson, as great as he was a little clumsy with his handles sometimes. It wasn't super smooth. He was just so big, and his intelligence, his ability to anticipate.
You're talking about when he was in college?
His vision. It wasn't super like highlight type of stuff. It was just.
I'll give you that at Michigan State, maybe early in his career with the Lakers. Well, I don't know.
Simmons as a freshman in college for a 7-footer. You just don't see that.
No,
it's freakish.
And so how is it that you can't shoot?
And then it's because he didn't practice.
Yeah, and if you spend that much time in the gym and you don't,
you see his form at the free throw line. It's okay.
Yeah,
you don't put the time in.
I thought that it would come on. We've seen guys that just didn't want to work on their game, period. Okay, and you instantly phase yourself out of the sport. But a guy that did want to work on his game and went to work on his game just wouldn't work on that part of it. I will never understand that. I've never seen anybody quite like that in my life. Anyway, LSU baseball tomorrow in Jacksonville. 3-game set over in Jacksonville. 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And these games are part of that D1 package that you got to buy separately. So if you want to watch,
$30 pop.
$30 for the weekend, and you can do that, or you can listen to games on the radio. We have the baseball games on the radio, Eagle 98.1. So
who's doing them while basketball season?
Patrick Wright did the games this past weekend.
Can we afford to have a basketball radio broadcast?
Yeah, basketball takes precedence over baseball.
Why?
That's just the way it is. It's always been that way. I was on the network for 14 years. If there's a football broadcast, it's first. Basketball second. Baseball's third.
Did First say we're tanking next year in basketball?
He didn't say it like that. No, he just said we'll evaluate it after the season. Fine. Okay. We'll see.
Can I tell you right now, the ballpark looking like a lot of wind this Friday and Saturday at least, especially when you're playing in the afternoon, going to be blowing out. So the pitchers better be careful because we might see some balls leave the yard for LSU and company this weekend.
Look, the first week, there's been a few little, kind of shaky pitching performances. This team can hit from the guys that hit last year. The new guys, they can hit. If the wind's blowing out, that's a good thing for LSU. I don't care who they're playing. I don't care where they're playing. I don't care who they're playing. If the wind's blowing out, I'll take that with this group.
A team slugging percentage of .674. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
When he's going to bat the go wait to the championship game to put the big boy lead off, huh?
If it's yes, and let me tell you why, Jimmy. Let me tell you why. Because I think let me check this. I want to make sure I'm right here.
I think he's batted leadoff before.
I don't think he's batted leadoff before, but I do think he's leading the team in on base percentage.
Well,
if it's not him, it's got to be
Dardar.
Dardar. Okay.
Lead him off.
Yeah, 632, but he's 591.
Yeah, 591 on base percentage.
And he's got he's 100% stolen bases, huh? Well,
they didn't give him a steal. The ball was in the dirt.
Okay.
They ended up calling it a wild pitch. But he leads the team in walks, and he's been hit twice. So, big fella gets on base.
Say he's from California.
He played at Grand Canyon. I don't know where's he originally from.
I think he's from California.
He might be.
You don't know this, Charles?
From
Campbell, California.
Campbell, California. Yeah. He went to Grand Canyon. That's where he was. Big fella gets on base.
How many kids look like him growing up in California?
Well, they just don't play baseball. I'm sure there's plenty of them. They just don't
You
play
think?
baseball.
I go to California for weeks every summer. I don't see anybody look like that, bro.
No, and yes, with an on base percentage of 5. What'd you say? 590,
591. Yeah.
Yeah, you can bat lead off for me. I don't care how much you weigh.
There you go.
Do they grow corn in California? They grow a lot of stuff.
They do have some agriculture areas that grow a lot of things, yeah. But, I mean, just you let me know, bro. I'll take a picture next time I see one.
Well, you're out there for
You're always
out there for
complaining.
2.5 weeks a year.
You're busy complaining about the cloud cover. I don't think you're
scout,
looking at
the marine layer.
How cold it is. Right?
Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. If your homeowners association requires wood windows, you got to do like I did. That's right. Well, the second time I got it right. It's just not, do you learn from your mistakes? That's the whole thing. I learned when I didn't use Relief Windows and their great ultra-last gel wind windows that come with a 20-year general warranty and a lifetime limited warranty against rotten termites. I learned when I didn't use them in the first place with the original construction. But once they rotted with these extreme weather conditions in South Louisiana, I went to Relief Windows. Now they are functional. They look good. They are built to last. Not any sign of wear and tear on these windows. Check out all their inventory, whether it's windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades at 288-8138. I'm sorry, at ReliefWindows.com. You can call them to schedule an initial consultation at 288-8138. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com.
Live at Snows, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We're also brought to you by the Thibodeau Store, thethibodeaustore.com. Also the Pierre Part Store and open in Laplace and LaRose. Right now, get a head start on your garden as we head towards spring. Tons of deals right now on the website for potting mixes, seed starters, all of your gardening tools, all of your hoses, all of that available right now. You can get into your greenhouse, get into your garden. Tons of deals on the website right now. Of course, we're also talking about cleanup here as we get into spring. So storage equipment, weed killers, industrial cleaners, all of those available at the website right now. You're getting ready for the warmer weather, your outdoor cooking equipment, patio furniture, outdoor power equipment, all available right now at thethibodeaustore.com. All 4 properties you can access at thethibodeaustore.com, open until 5:30. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, Highway 70 in Pierre Part, LaRose, Lockport, and again online it's thethibodeaustore.com. Is the most anticipated matchup of the college basketball season coming up this Saturday when Duke and Michigan renew the rivalry? It's been a while since these teams have played, and they're playing in Washington, D.C.
It's a rivalry?
Okay, that's kind of the point of what I'm
Played
asking.
for national championship one year.
They did.
Non-competitive.
It was not. Duke ran them right out of the building. They played every year from the year Michigan won the national championship in 1989, the Ramiro Robinson team, all the way through 2002. Duke won most of these games. Michigan won 3, but Duke leads the all-time series. And they played back in the 60s and 70s for about 10 years. They played every year. But they haven't played each other in 13 years. You remember the ones that got the most publicity. It was the Leitner-Hurley teams against the Fab Five. The Leitner-Hurley-Grant Hill teams against the Fab Five. They played 3 times in 2 years. Duke won them all. And the championship game was a complete blowout.
First year in Chrysler was close.
That was the one that got everybody's attention for the Fab Five because they weren't even all starting at that point. It was a December game. Weber was starting, Rose was starting, Howard was starting, but the other 2 were still coming off the bench at that point. And Duke was a defending national champion, and Leitner was still there. And that was a hell of a game. They took them, I think it went to overtime, if I remember right.
I don't think so.
But it
came down to a shot at the end to send it in overtime.
And maybe
I'm pretty sure it was early December when I was I was watching that from Swede at the high school football championships.
I could tell you exactly where I was watching it from. I was watching from the fairgrounds, waiting to go to the high school games that night. Yeah. We were at Champions Day at the fairgrounds watching that game, and everybody was like, wow, okay, we'd heard about the Fab Five.
Right.
And this was our first chance to really see them against somebody, Titan. Duke was as good as it got at that time. That was Hurley and Leitner's last year together, and Michigan gave them all they wanted, but they lost, and they played them they played them.
Championship game was fairly close at half, and it was just blasted away.
Blew them out in the second half. And then they went back the next year. Leitner had moved on, but Hurley was still there. Hill was still there. And they went and played them down at Cameron Indoor, and Duke won that game too. But this game, so that's a little bit of the history.
Well, this is a neutral site.
This is a neutral site. So is it a rivalry? I don't know. It's just there's been some compelling figures in these matchups over the years.
their number was 1 and 2.
And in the AP, they're 1 and 3.
In the Ken Palm, they are 1 and 2.
And in the coaches poll, they are 1 and 3. So
Michigan is the favorite.
By
2.5.
2.5. Okay, so pretty much a toss-up game. You've seen both of these teams a number of times now. Who's your early? And we're going to talk a lot about this game with our experts tomorrow. But
just whoever plays better. Michigan. They come out and shoot like they did against Purdue. Well, then they win easy. Of course, I think Michigan might be a little bit more tested. Certainly the Big Ten is much tougher than the ACC. The Big Ten is what and what not with the Big 12 as a top-rated conference in college basketball. Loaded down with great coaches. Some of the teams haven't lived up to expectation. And
you're right, the numbers bear you out. Michigan's strength of schedule is 5, Duke is 14. So they both played plenty of competition, but Michigan has played more.
They it's just kind of a weird game. We used to see like Duke St. John's, like a non-conference game, out of nowhere. They used to like to play in Madison Square Garden a lot. But this is different. When's the last time they played?
It's been 13 years since they played.
Okay. And so, no, it's a great game. It's going to be a 2 or 3 on Saturday afternoon. So it's going to. I'd favor Michigan. But nobody's going to be surprised if Duke wins. So could be. These are definitely 2 number 1 seeds right now,
and
with
regardless
some
of
cushion.
Regardless of who. In fact,
they're probably the 1 and, if not 1 and 2, they're 1 and 3 as the overall seeds. So
I got a hard time seeing a scenario where 3 of the 4 number 1 seeds are locked up right now. I mean, because they're not going to lose out or anything. These 2 teams in Arizona, I can't imagine a finish to the season where those 3 aren't the top 3 seeds in the tournament.
Charlie, Arizona got another tough one on Saturday. Koa Pete will not be playing. He's got a little bit of that injury right now.
Well, no, there's a scenario if he's out for any amount of time. That would hurt.
They've lost 2 out of 3. They failed to cover their last 3. and they go to a little place called the Fertitta Center on Saturday. So they'll be an underdog in that one. Slight underdog, but still. UConn loses last night. I don't know. I think Arizona's little slide that they're on right now may be chewing up some of their cushion.
Houston is undefeated at home, and
their only losses were at Ames by a bucket, at Texas Tech by a bucket, neutral site in Las Vegas against Tennessee earlier in the year. So I'm kind of warming up to this new look Houston team. One that's not as suffocating on defense, but has more life on offense. And one of the reasons is the kid from Newman, Sinak. Junior. He had like 12 boards in the game on Iowa State. Some of the Iowa State players, and man, look, he was a handful to deal with on the boards in that second half. And so I just see, it is a rarity for freshmen to break into the lineup for Houston. He's got two of them starting, and Sinak Jr. and the 6'11" kid from Newman, and then Fleming's, who's going to be a lottery pick. God, these scorers, man. I mean, these guys are unbelievable.
I'd love to see them play against Arkansas and see him and Acuff go toe-to-toe. That would be fun.
Well, I think Fleming's I don't know how strong he is on the defensive side of the floor.
No, I get it, but they're roughly the same size. Fleming's maybe an inch taller, and they both put ball in bucket. They're pretty good.
Well, they got Philon. He scores like he's crazy. I mean, they got a lot of really good players, man. Ament is getting better and better for Tennessee. I mean, it's just loaded, man. It's just why you would take a headache like that from Kansas and Peterson when nobody else is doing this crap. No. Nobody else is. When a lot of them can be. DeBonta plays like there's no tomorrow. He plays so damn hard, and he's getting probably the most out of any of them, right now.
If you're a college basketball fan, besides the tournament, Saturday is as good a day as you can see. If you want to sit down,
you got some heavyweight matchups.
Arizona and Houston at 2, Michigan and Duke at 5:30.
Oh, it's 5:30?
5:30, so you can have a little bit of a break in there. You want to go grab something to eat. And then if you want to stay up late, Iowa State's at BYU.
So when I was a
game.
kid, I'd say right around middle school, Charlie, was probably D.C. was the setting for one of the biggest non-conference college basketball games ever. I think they showed it on like public television some kind of way, and it was Patrick Ewing as a freshman versus Ralph Sampson as either junior or senior.
Georgetown, Virginia, in 1980.
I mean, of course, where are they located?
Yeah.
But it was in where the Cap Center, where the Bullets played, or Wizards now, whatever. So
yeah,
they're playing. I'm sure they're playing where
they're playing at the Wizards.
What's it called?
Oh gosh, what's
someone where they have a sports book?
Capital One Arena.
Yeah,
Capital One Arena. Yeah. So good day for college hoops.
It is,
Saturday.
man. It's been good. It's been good. I just, I think 10 or 11 teams, from the SEC. So.
Watch it. We got a little time here before we ramp up to March Madness.
Missouri helped their case yesterday for sure.
Big time.
And survived what was almost a stunner.
I kind of turned it off. I mean, really. I thought
Vanderbilt
it was
hits a three with a second left, gets a steal on the inbound, and like a half-court shot that hit the rim like twice and barely missed. So they hold on for a 1-point win over Vanderbilt.
It was a 7-point bump in the net for them, and their
Missouri?
net is it's on the outside looking in. It's 59, so they still got a ways to go, but they're 8-5 in the conference play. So
that's
that
a low
helps
NET
them.
to get in that large bid.
It is. No, they got a ways to go, but that definitely helped. They got a 7-point bump last night, and they get Arkansas and Tennessee at home in the last 5. So there's an opportunity. Actually, they play Arkansas twice, so home and home. They get Tennessee. That's a chance for them to move up a little bit. Chandler Bing missed a shot for Vanderbilt.
That's right.
His parents must have had a sense of humor.
You said that twice now.
I
you like Friends, huh? You like that
If
show.
your last name is Bing and you name your kid Chandler, this kid's never going to be able to rent a car without answering 20 questions, right?
Not everybody watched every episode. I didn't know his name was Chandler Bing.
It was a popular show.
I know. It's not Seinfeld.
No, but it was close.
It doesn't have the shelf life.
A lot of people.
Seinfeld, you can still watch and laugh your behind off.
Well,
You can still watch Friends too? Don't tell me.
Friends is on like 24 hours a day.
Do you still watch it?
If it's on for 5-10 minutes, yeah, I might.
Do you still
I might
watch
pick
Seinfeld?
Yeah, if it's on
Absolutely.
for 5 or
That's
10 minutes,
my-
yeah, no, it's
Prove
the
my
whole time.
point there. Prove my point, Sucrose.
Chandler Bing.
Did he get in some trouble?
My God.
He got a little. He passed away recently.
He passed away. Yeah,
Yes.
God bless Matthew
Yes.
Perry.
There you go.
Who names that kid Chandler Bing? If this, never mind.
It's fictional, Charlie.
Well, this kid's not fictional. They did this on purpose. Freshman,
the
averages
guy I
3
go
points
to
a
opening
game.
day with every year.
Yeah.
Okay, his last name is Cooper.
Okay.
What do you think he names his kid?
Amari?
DB.
Hangover.
Bradley.
Yes,
Bradley
Yeah,
Cooper.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Are you the Bradley Cooper? No, my name's Bradley Cooper. I'm trying to rent a car.
Don't forget our friends over at Supreme Rice every Monday. It's festival. Odd House. It's red beans and rice, white beans and rice. You name it. It's Supreme Rice. And their parboiled rice. You talk about outstanding, man. Restaurant quality rice. Tried to get it right, but it's a long grain rice. It's firm. It is beautiful. It's unbelievable quality. Doesn't have a lot of the residue that some of the rices have. So check it out, man. It's available wherever you get your Supreme Rice at pretty much every Baton Rouge and surrounding area grocery stores. So, hey, you're doing the festival season. You're doing on-site cooking, whether you're tailgating. Got to do it with Supreme Rice. Supreme Rice at supremerice.com.
Live at Snow's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we're also brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff, man, they've done a great job for our family. You got back pain, you got neck pain, you got muscle soreness, things that are keeping you from moving around as well as you'd like. Maybe they're keeping you from getting a good night's sleep. Let them help you out. They'll get you into a program that'll target your problem areas and get you to feeling better, whether it's just an adjustment, some exercises, some stretches, or if you do need to go to a dry needle or electric nerve stimulation, cryo, or ultrasound therapy, they can help you out. Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla. My wife was just there last week at Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. What's going on out at Pacific Palisades? Roy McElroy off to a pretty good start here today at the Genesis.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is now suspended due to rain. They were expecting a lot of rain this morning. They've gotten it, played through much of it, but it looks like it's gotten away from. Akshay Bhatia has the lead, 300 through 6. Colin Morikawa picking up right where he left off after a win last week at Pebble Beach. He's 200 through 3. So is Rory, as you mentioned. Our consensus pick is not set to go off 12:20. Matt Fitzpatrick, but that'll be obviously later with the suspension of play. So don't think we'll see the entire first round finish today, but there's going to be a little bit of wind. This will be probably the hardest it plays until Sunday, considering the soft conditions. It's going to play a little easier than the Genesis normally plays, but with the rain and wind, Riviera will have a little bit of teeth for the rest of the day.
It's 50 degrees out there. We've now seen rain at the Rose Bowl, at the Coliseum, at the Genesis. Man, look, if it rains on Jimmy at Del Mar in July this year, I mean, we're going to have to look into this. You're a weather guy.
Well, this is rainy season for California. This is one of the things
which means it rains once a month.
Well, a little bit more. We saw it at Pebble, or we saw it at Torrey.
You want
Torrey was
rainy
pretty
season?
wet.
Come here in July. I'll show you rain.
Look, it's relative, but they're going to get a half inch of rain, which is pretty uncommon, but only in these parts. And one of the things the PGA Tour is exploring, next year the calendar is probably going to look a lot different. We're expecting those announcements to come pretty soon from the new commissioner, Brian Rolap. And one of the things they're looking at is probably moving California's swing a little bit and probably trying to go to some of these warmer weather ventures a little bit earlier. maybe pushing the season back. You might see Hawaii get pushed back a little bit if they even go there at all. And they're going to try to hit more of these big-time, big cities, so New York City or Chicago, D.C. maybe at some point in the season. So I do think there's a chance we'd see Riviera move back to a more palatable time of the year where it's playing firmer and faster.
All right, so we talked about that with West Reynolds yesterday. You were out, but moving this and Torrey Pines to August to be part of the playoff.
I think this event would certainly make sense in a playoff-like format. And Pebble Beach, right? Pebble is iconic, but it's just not. It doesn't play the same this time of year. It's softer. It's cooler, which means the grass it plays different from everyone who's played it there. It says that it's a lot more of a palatable golf course. Like we see U.S. Opens at Pebble Beach, and it's a great event there. But the U.S. Opens are obviously in the summer, so that's something they'll look at. It is really fluctuating the schedule. You're going to eliminate some of these events as well. But I think you could see some of these California swing events, like the Genesis, like Pebble Beach, perhaps move later in the season.
Yeah, so what happens to golf in February? You keep, for instance, the Phoenix the Waste Management.
Yeah, I think you'll see the Waste Management, that's synonymous with the Super Bowl at this point. I think you'll keep a couple West Coast swings, perhaps, in February, but I just think you shift back the season. So maybe it doesn't start in January, so perhaps you throw in one Hawaii event in February, and then you go to Florida maybe a little bit earlier, just because they've got great weather. It's warm enough, and they can just overseed it with ryegrass or whatever they're doing right now.
What does this do to the rest of the schedule? Because we've been nervous about the Zurich for a while now.
I'm very nervous about it, to be honest with you. I don't know if they've let the Zurich know or anything. The Zurich's got a sponsorship.
They're aware.
Well, the Zurich has a sponsor. They have quite a bit of sponsorship deal left. Can they terminate that? Can they work in the Zurich in some sort of way? I'm not sure. But, Liv came to New Orleans this summer, and I think I wouldn't be shocked if they were slightly making that decision under the guys that perhaps the Zurich might be in trouble here. So,
yeah.
I hope so. I hope it continues long term, and whether the format is saved or not, I'm not sure. But they want to go to bigger cities, and New Orleans, I guess, might qualify. But I don't know. If they're going to compress the schedule, it feels like the Zurich might be one of those that gets tossed to the wayside, unfortunately.
You're the golf guy. Is this good?
Look,
not the Zurich part. I get that for locally, but shift this seismic shift in the golf calendar. Is a good
Brian
thing?
Roloff comes from the NFL. He doesn't want to compete with the NFL, and we've seen that before.
Okay, that's
why
smart.
They moved the PGA because they wanted their playoff to not be during football season.
Right.
There's some people in the northern areas. Man, we hadn't played our first round of golf, and y'all playing your second major. In the PGA, so they feel it's crammed, but you can't have it both ways.
If you're worried about TV coverage and whatnot, that's certainly going to be a factor. If you're worried about long-term sustainability, ratings, and just, because most of the tour is on TV coverage, right? You want to suit the people who are on the grounds, and that makes some sort of money. And if you're at the Zurich, I have a great time when I go to TPC Louisiana. But ultimately, TV is such a big factor in this, and making some decisions that way with the schedule and whatnot, it does make some sense. Despite me, look, I'll watch golf in January if it's on and it's not up against a football game, but I'm one of very few that would do that.
With the California weather, that you got all the flexibility in the world there. You can play any time in California and get the same type of climate. Not the other places for the most part. So can't play in Phoenix at the same time you're playing Whistling Straits in Wisconsin. I mean, so.
Right, that's the other thing. If they want to add New York City, Chicago
Texas,
area places, you've got to play those in the summer. So, right. It is a tough schedule to work around because you're so worried about climate, for sure.
And you keep the players where it is in March?
I think so. Look, it plays different than it did when it was in May, but to me, if you're going to keep the major schedule the way it is, it needs to go first. It needs to go in March, and that's another thing that they're trying to amp up the idea that they might be a fifth major of some sort. I've seen in some advertising, which is annoying to me. But it's the best tournament on the PGA Tour. They don't have to, say there's something that they're not, in my opinion. The majors have history.
They've been using that moniker for a long time.
Well, they kind of got away from it, but they're going back to it.
They're kind of trying to it's being a little pushy.
March is going to be major. That's their push.
Wait. You got the star golfers having to comment. Do you think the TPC should be the fifth major? What? I mean, man.
And what are you going to do? Are you going to retroactively give Rory another major? How does that work? It never works.
Maintain your record book.
I agree.
Maintain your tradition. Sure.
The Travers Stakes is not a part of the quadruple crown. No,
it's not.
Granted, very good horse race.
For what it's worth,
I think the Travers is open to older horses, though, too.
It is. That's what I'm saying.
For what it's worth, I mean, record books are kind of stained in general anyway. The amount of games in the NFL totally different. Things change.
But some of the record books, are. That's why, with the 3-point, how do you count, scoring champion now before the 3-point line? Okay, the offenses are in football are just ridiculous, and then you're playing 50% more of a schedule in some cases in college football than you did 50 years ago. Okay, but the one thing that's why it was such a big deal with baseball, because they play 162, and they play 162 for a long time, and so when they had the steroid just shattering the record books, that's why 4 majors in tennis, 4 majors in golf. It's a bit. Keep it, man. What I mean? There's so few things that that you can maintain the history of it, like the Triple Crown. Like it's been compromised a little bit lately because you don't have the distances because of Belmont's being renovated right now. They had to do it at Saratoga, which that track is not built for it. So it's been a little compromised as far as that's concerned. But you got to have a horse running all 3. To even have that come into play.
The LPGA has a 5th major, and a lot of people look at it kind of like a clown show. Like really, do we need that?
It's just
force one in.
It's manufactured.
Yes.
It's just too much. But don't you think of it like why are all these golfers talking about the TBC being a 5th major?
Well, they were asked about it.
If you want to do that little slogan like Charlie said, that's fine. But come on.
They were asked about it because of this advertising push returning, and it's, to me, I think it's a joke. But
you like keeping a PGA where it is?
I think so. You're able to go to different venues, which they haven't really taken full advantage of. You're able to go to the South. Texas is going to host a PGA Championship, which is abnormal. You wouldn't really do that if it was in August, right? So it changes the venues a little bit, but I don't know. I'm kind of in mixed minds, but I think it fits better in the schedule than in August.
United Community Bank, with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow, we've been serving the people of southern Louisiana for over 50 years. Running a business can be difficult enough without the right relationship with your bank. United Community Bank's local business bankers, you're not just a number, you are a partner. Contact our great team of bankers, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, my buddy Prentice Wilkes at United Community Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Snows, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Snow Seafood and Steak in Gonzales on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
LSU women's basketball tonight, late game in Oxford against Ole Miss. LSU in control of their own destiny as far as getting a double bye in the SEC tournament. They win out. This is going to be tough, though. Ole Miss is undefeated at home. They just beat a ranked Tennessee team by 13 there. And, they got shut down by the ice storm. They had to move a couple of their home games to Birmingham while Oxford was shut down with the ice storm. And they beat number 5 Vanderbilt by 8 points at that game. It was supposed to be a home game for them and ended up playing it in Birmingham. So I'm surprised that LSU is as big a favorite as they are tonight. Tigers are an 11.5-point choice at Ole Miss. Rebels have not yet lost at home. They are 21-6 overall, and they're 12-0 at home in Oxford. So that game is an 8
same
o'clock
coach
tip
still there?
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll let
does a good job.
McPhee McQueen. Yeah, she's very good.
Yeah. That'd be a tough. I think it's a tough game for LSU. Ole Miss beat them here last year, 11.5. That's a lot.
It's high. Yeah,
I think Ole Miss.
I was thinking about 3.5.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. So that's
So don't forget over here at Snows, of course, with all of the regular menu items. During Lent, of course, keep them extra, keep them on your radar for Fridays in Lent. First Friday in Lent tomorrow. We're open all the way through the day. So we open up at 11 a.m. and go all the way through 10 p.m. And also, enjoy the patio where we are today on days like today. It's patio weather already in mid-February. And we are doing boiled crawfish over here at Snow's also Tuesday through Saturday, starting at 5 p.m. and an all-day Sunday for crawfish. So lots of menu items, regular seafood menu items. We're going to have some plenty of chef-inspired specials. Benjaro is back in the Chef Benjaro is back in the kitchen doing his thing and having crawfish as well. So tons of options, seafood options for Lenten season over here at Snow's.
Max, what's going on with the hockey?
Scoreless through one. First intermission, no score, no blood between U.S. and Canada.
Aren't the Americans supposed to be?
What's the live line?
Ooh, good question.
You were laying 2.5 goals at the beginning of this thing?
Yeah, I think you could probably get it pretty juiced here. We've got Olympic hockey live, -1.5, plus 100 if you want the U.S. Plus 1.5 is heavily juiced on Canada. So 1.5 is now the puck line. U.S. -420 to win the gold medal.
You got that maple leaf flag over there? Is that what I see behind you? No.
Jimmy?
Okay. Yeah. The Americans. Light slate. We've been talking about this all year. Light slate in college basketball tonight. No ranked teams are playing
it's
tonight.
Date night, Charlie.
It's date night. Okay.
Told you that. Hot party of one. It's date night. Okay? All right? Get it straight. This is a crapola schedule of college basketball. It's every Thursday night. It's every Thursday night. They might throw one Big Ten game in. They don't even have that. I think they might have one Big East game tonight. That's your big.
The Memphis and South Florida.
No, I'm sorry. The American.
The American.
The American. Memphis is terrible. Penny Hardaway's about to get fired.
Is he really? You think he's?
Oh, he deserves. Do your research on Penny. It is. He has lasted this long because of his name and where he starred as a college and high school player. And he had some decent teams. They're terrible, and they've been bad for a few years now.
Thanks to the folks here at Snow's for being our host today. Tomorrow we will be at Ruffino's. We'll be previewing a big college basketball and baseball weekend. For Jimmy Ott, for Max Gotro, for Jordan back in the studio, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.